looking at a world in where global retail sales is going to increase by 56% to about $8 trillion by 2026. So just to let that settle in again, that's 8 trillion over the next 2 or 3 years. A small percentage of that, kind of like low double digits, is really only online. And I think there's a great opportunity for us to build out amazing experiences for retailers. Again, also what Tina said around different industries, telco, CPG, etc., to build out digital experiences that are amazing and stunning and tremendous. And so what we do at Commerce Tools is we're providing a composable commerce platform that gives all of our customers and retailers the opportunity to build these tremendous and flexible and scalable experiences. And so we have customers like Lululemon, AT&T, Ulta Beauty, Sephora, that are requiring more from their digital business. They're requiring more flexibility. They're requiring more scalability to, again, build these amazing experiences out. And so we're providing them effectively the infrastructure to do that. And what we're doing under the hood is everything that we've built, our entire platform, our entire capability, every sort of commerce feature that we're offering is natively built in Google Cloud. So we're in Google Cloud, we're built for the cloud, we're a first-class citizen of the cloud. So there's no compromises that we want to do. And so when we're looking at this world of tremendous growth, and when we're looking at the last 3 or 4 years, we've seen a lot of wars, pandemics, supply chain issues, and the only constant remains change. And so we're building out these commerce platforms for our retailers and other businesses that we do business with that in mind, to future-proof them. Not just to future-proof them, but effectively to make them future-ready. And so we're looking at that flexibility. And flexibility is not just the technology, it's also the organizational design that we're putting behind that. And what that means is, I think previously we've been living in a world where it was always business versus IT. Business had an idea and IT just needed to do that and figure out how to build it. And then there was this huge clash getting onto the roadmap and sort of building out a specific feature. What we're seeing now is almost a productization of teams, all the way from merchandising managers, business analysts, all the way to QAs and cloud engineers. So I think it's really like the synergy of business and IT. There's no more fighting going on. It's really a self-sustaining sort of environment and very few silos that remain. The other notion is also, and this is kind of like the myth busting that we're providing, is this whole notion of build versus buy. I think 10 years ago, we were always sort of under the impression, if we can't build it ourselves, we have to buy it from a vendor. And usually it was like a legacy application, a monolithic application that we needed to buy. Because guess what? 10, 15, 20 years ago, when all of these companies were founded or IPO'd, we didn't really have public cloud infrastructure providers the way that we know them right now. So everything from an architecture perspective was built very, very differently. And so now we can effectively offer both. We can offer end-to-end commerce platforms, everything from customers, pricing, promotions, product catalogs, you name it. But also we have customers that just consume very few APIs from us and run their businesses through Commerce Tools. And so the way that we're looking at it is really like a build and buy notion, and you can build everything that you seem to want. The other thing is also, because you can pick and choose, you have faster deployments. Because the teams are set up better, you can deploy features faster. We just did a total economic impact study with Forrester, and the understanding and the insights that we've gained out of that were tremendous. And one of the golden nuggets was that something that took you 4 months previously is now only going to take you a couple of weeks, up to 4 weeks. So that's a 75% reduction in actually getting a feature live, opening up a new channel, acquiring a new brand and getting that online. So that's really fundamentally amazing what we can do here. From an ease of use perspective, we're also looking at a world where we want to make everything easy to integrate, almost like a low-code, no-code kind of like interpretation of the meaning there. And we want to do that with our ecosystem partners. So we're really unlocking that entire ecosystem without spending $1 million just building integrations, because just having an integration available doesn't really mean that it is composable. So composable really means to us that you have the features or the tenets of being cloud native, and a lot of the other things that I'm going to talk about in a second. And again, companies choose us to build these tremendous experiences in a more flexible way, but they want to do that not at the compromise of efficiencies, or and they want to do that at lower cost. Again, previously you've built and you bought these amazing legacy commerce platforms, but you effectively bought the whole gamut of features and functionality, and they were not always up to standard or best of breed. Think about your iPhone or your Android device. You're probably only using 10 or 20% of the capabilities there. That's the same notion with these commerce platforms. You might have a content management system, you might have payment integrated, but it doesn't really mean that it's best of breed or really helping you to achieve your objectives there. So for us, it's if you just want to use an order API, you can do so. If you just want to use our product catalog, you can do so. And so really building that out and therefore also being at the advantage of a lower total cost of ownership. As Tina mentioned, we were the founders of Mach. We were coining this term initially. We always built out our solution because we knew there needed to be something better, where we needed to sort of live and breathe this notion of microservices first, really encapsulating business capabilities. Our entire platform is built in an API-first fashion. There's no other way to communicate with our platform. We have over 300 APIs, again, product catalogs, customer data, promotions, etc., name it. And that's the only way that you can talk to our platform and you can build everything that you want. Same notion, we were built in the cloud for the cloud, first-class citizen in the cloud. So we're entirely cloud native, which means we can unlock the entire Google ecosystem, whether you're talking about Vision APIs, Google BigQuery. Previously, you had to like download and export and upload again to like do some little number crunching. You don't have to do that anymore because all the products live in the cloud, in the Google Cloud. And so final H here is headless, really meaning the separation of front end and back end. And that's, again, what we've pioneered, because everything that you sort of initially understood of retail to be was just like the website, right? That's how everything started out to be. You're going into the typical experience, looking at, looking at a retailer's website, you're looking at the product category page, product detail page, you sort of went to the checkout and you checked out the cart. And so I think that's the typical motion or customer journey that we've been used to. I think what's really changed is the underlying capability, because we're cloud native in that aspect. And again, because we're headless, the head can be anything. It could be a device. It could be a kiosk in a McDonald's when you go in and order. It could be a magic mirror that you use with AI and VR. It could be anything you want to be. And effectively, you're just calling an API in the backend. I'm going to speed up a little because we lost a few valuable minutes at the beginning. What it comes down to under the hood is we're so much faster, 3 times faster with deployments, with migrations, just because we're leveraging everything that's built in the cloud. We can come to a positive ROI much faster, 5 times in about 3 years, and much lower total cost of ownership. And it wouldn't be a Google Next sort of presentation without a fancy architecture diagram. So I sort of embedded this just to understand or help understand how we're built and set up. I think the keynote or the key points to take away here is really the notion that everything that we have lives in Google. So we're talking about products, we're talking about customer data, we're talking about cart data, we're talking about order data. Everything can be surfaced and accessed through the APIs that we're providing, and that makes it really powerful. Even from a workflow perspective, right? Just a very simple example. The way that we are saving and storing data, everything is embedded in Google Cloud. So no sort of media libraries that are hosted somewhere else or on-prem or in your ERP. Everything sits in Google. Everything can be accessed, changed, inquired. So if you get a customer request, every bit of data sits in Google Cloud. There can therefore be actioned. Even if there's like seasonality or peaks, etc., everything can be load balanced using the like native Google Cloud functionality. And so if a customer requests like, is this item available? Is this item available in my store? Is the store available to send it to me out of store, or does it need to be sent out of a distribution center or a warehouse? All of this data is available and can be accessed. And then obviously from a resolution perspective, only when certain criteria and the business logic checks out, that's when a customer will get their inventory that they were looking for. And I just want to call out sort of 2 customers that we have that have been tremendous partners, not only from us, but also from a Google perspective, being Ulta Beauty and LL Bean. And I think the customer example here is really around a story where Ulta Beauty, I mean, they're doing about $5 billion in revenue. $1 billion of that is in online only. They're having about 1,100 stores across all 50 states, and so we're helping them to really boost their business, their digital business. We're helping them really tell that omni-channel story because, as you can imagine, they have so many different products, so many different categories, so many different brands that they carry, and we're helping them make sense of all of that. And again, with the help of Google Cloud as well. And so it's really important for us that we're helping them be more flexible, be more scalable, whatever the seasonality is. It's no longer Black Friday, Cyber Monday. We have a telco customer that makes more money in the day when the new iPhone or Android devices are being launched than actually on Black Friday, Cyber Monday. So what is that seasonality that we can help them act on? Same with LL Bean. I think they come from a very sort of traditional, almost like catalog-based business model. They were really focused on in-store experiences. And again, we're helping them not only in store, but we're also helping them with their online channels. They've already embarked on this notion of a headless customer journey before they even talked to us. So that was a great example of a traditional retailer being open for kind of like unlocking their business for freedom to experiment and doing new things. And I think commercetools just gave them that extra edge to really transact on that. And so we're really combining the different experiences, physical stores and the online experiences. But then again, because we're headless, we can do so much more. We can do clienteling, we can help the store associates. So all of that can just be accessed with the APIs that we have at our disposal and effectively help LL Bean and Ulta Beauty and Sephora and other customers really excel with their business.
Thank you, Michael. So next, we'd like to discuss a challenge that I believe many enterprises face and is a key blocker to helping to deliver upon that seamless digital experience, and that has to do with data and information silos. So I think data silos not only between systems and between teams as well can cause friction for customers across literally any industry. I mean, how many times have we all encountered a brick wall when dealing with customer support online, or when experiences differ very drastically across platforms and modes? So Kartik, can you discuss how Quantum Metric is helping enterprises tackle this challenge?
Can you guys hear me? Okay. So I'm going to first introduce you to Quantum Metric. So I have to first figure out how this works. Okay. So what I want you to know about Quantum Metric is 2 things. Number one, the largest bank, the largest airlines, the largest retailers, the largest telecom providers, the largest healthcare companies, gaming companies, all use Quantum Metric to deliver delightful customer experiences in their applications. The number 2 unique point I want you to remember is at each of these customers who uses us, you will see that delivering digital experience is not just one person's job. I am the Chief Product Officer at Quantum, but it's just not my job to deliver best experiences. I need my engineering counterpart, I need my marketing teams, I need my customer success teams. It takes a village to deliver that, and that's what you see over here, that like a very big distribution of teams and how we get used. So what are all these? Okay, so what are all these customers using Quantum Metric for? So imagine you built an app. You built an app for someone, like either an employee or a customer, and you built them app because you want them to get some stuff done, some task completed. What does a task look like? For a bank, it could be depositing depositing a check. At an airlines, it could be making a reservation or changing your seat. At an e-commerce company, it could be buying a purchase or returning something. At a healthcare company, it could be finding a doctor or an appointment. And any time when you're delivering these digital experiences and your customers run into problems, we help them identify why they're getting stuck, why they cannot get those tasks done. And we don't just stop or just telling you that these are the friction points. Because like, look, all of us get 5 escalations a day over here. The question is, how do I prioritize and understand why this friction point is happening? And what we end up doing is, not only we identify the friction, we quantify it for you and associate a business value with you. That these many users are impacted, this much revenue is impacted, these many calls are happening to call center. So in a variety of ways, and however you're tracking a business metric, we can quantify that for you. And the reason we are able to do that is because of our roots are in session replay. And for those who are not familiar with session replay, like you have watched replays in sports. Steph Curry takes a jump shot, you can watch a replay of it. We do the similar thing in the digital world, where if a user is using your app, website, kiosk, we can replay how that user used that particular application. And because we have all of this data, and we have this data across all users, we can activate that data, show you the friction points, and then quantify them for you. Okay. So let's get into it. And I want to tell the story from the lens of Home Depot. Just a show of hands. How many of you did remodeling during the COVID time? I see a lot of hands raised up. So while I was doing remodeling, I was using Home Depot. And look, we think digital is simple, but digital is inherently complex. And the complexity is growing year over year. And I want to tell that story through the lens of Home Depot. I have bought on Home Depot, on their app, on their website, on the mobile web. I've picked up in store. I've had things delivered to my house, changed things in between. I've used everything. So a customer like me is expecting Home Depot to deliver an omni-channel experience and a seamless experience that I should be able to do whatever. And then one of the things which we did was we started mapping out for all retailers like Home Depot. What does digital look like? What is it that they care about? What experiences are they delivering? And by no means I'm saying this is a complete list, but these are kind of jobs to be done for a modern retailer. And we counted at least 60 of them. And think about the challenge of digital, that these 60 experiences you have to deliver on web, mobile web, your native application, sometimes on kiosk as well. And if you're the person who's managing this, the question you should be asking is, how do I stay on top of all of these digital experiences that they're all pristine? And I can tell you there's not enough time in the day or a budget in a company that you can hire enough people, spend enough time to stay on top of all of these things. And this is and when we went and talked to customers like Home Depot, the feedback which we got from them was, can you help me build a product which helps me get started faster, help find insights faster, and raise the bar on my team? And we came up with this product. This is live right now. We launched it earlier this year, called Atlas. So for each of these micro experiences which I talked to you about, and in this case, we're talking about a checkout funnel. At the very top, I'll tell you out of the box, what are the KPIs you should care about? And how you should monitor them, what questions you should be asking when things go wrong, so that this becomes a really good assist to your digital teams as they debug problems, as they stay on top of problems. And one way I think about it right now, that this is what I would think about a Do-It or a Copilot before all this Gen AI came in, because this is a really good digital assist for anybody who's managing the checkout funnel. So we build guides like these, and this is what we call as a guide. So we build guides like these for all the 60 use cases in retail, which we showed you. But we didn't stop there. We did it for all the verticals we are in today. That if you're using Quantum, and if you're using Atlas, I can get you started in analysis and in making and delivering better experiences for your customers right now.
Thank you so much, Kartik. Can you still hear me? Hello? All right, I think we're going to move to a quick discussion with our two guests, Kartik and Michael here. Can folks hear me? No? So sorry. Yes? Oh, amazing, it works. Okay. All right, so we're going to move to a quick discussion with our two guests, Kartik and Michael here. So as you've probably seen in the keynote with Thomas and Sundar this morning, it's all about AI and generative AI. And as we know, with AI and generative AI coming more to the forefront, that makes breaking down data silos even more imperative, just with the scale and volume of data coming in. So I'll pass it over to Michael first. In your experience with your customers, what really is needed to break down those silos so that companies can realize the vision of AI?
So I think at Commerce Tools, we have a very pragmatic approach when it comes to generative AI. We think of ourselves as the underlying infrastructure that really powers the commerce engine. When I think about generative AI and the first applications that we've seen, it's all around product recommendations, reviews, things of that nature, almost like 10, 15 years ago, where big data came first into play. And I think the question is really around data. And I think we really want to dissect what is fad and everybody jumping on the Gen AI trend versus what is an actual application right now. We think a lot of application is in the promotion engine, a lot of application is in the content engine, none of which we do. What we want to do at Commerce Tools is we want to look at ways on making our platform better for the operational users, the backends, the developers, the engineers. We want to introduce a low-code, no-code kind of like environment where we can help our users, our customers to really use Gen AI. We actually want to use Gen AI to build integrations for us. So if you want to use a marketplace offering, if you want to use a content management system, if you want to use a search engine, we want to tell Gen AI and prompt it and say, build this integration for me, right? That's where we see the big game changer for us. Because we are the transactional engine, there's very few decisions that are happening on our side. We effectively are just order takers, but we're amazing at that. So when we're talking about Gen AI in the context of content, we want the content management system to take over. If we are talking about it in a search context, we want Google, we want Algolia, we want Constructor to take over, right? Like really build that AI in those applications. And that's what we really mean with composable. I think there's a lot of myths that needs to be busted around composable. And I think we want to focus on what we do really, really well, which is the actual transactional engine, orchestrating everything under the hood. But we really think as you build out these best-of-breed applications, they should own their part, and then the sum of its part effectively builds that amazing and tremendous sort of business experience. And I think that's why we want to take a pragmatic approach about it. That's why we're very much tech-focused on that. And we have a huge ecosystem that builds in that like the Gen AI aspect from a partner perspective.
Thank you, Michael. Kartik, we'll love your point of view on this as well.
So, look, I'll go back to our first slide in terms of how many different teams are using us. And already today in the Quantum product itself, they can collaborate across sales and marketing and all these other places. And that's because we can identify friction and we can tie it to a business value. And now, because you can prioritize it, you can align teams on it. And it helps breaks like data silos in a big way. Now, when I take it one step further and I go to Atlas, one of the things which I've heard over and over again, and as we have gone and spoken with customers on generative AI, is you need a data foundation to go to generation AI. And what Atlas does is like one of those data foundations for you, that it tells you what are the metrics to matter for each of those experiences, what you should be tracking. It tracks all of those things out of the box and breaks it down like by different dimensions, like platforms, geographies, so on and so forth. So now you have a very good data foundation to build upon, and you can run with it. But then I also want to talk about one of the assets which we have, which we don't talk about much, which is the session replay. So if you used a session, I have the entirety of that session to see how you interacted with that application. And today, I think we are probably activating 1% of the data. So imagine, with the help of Vertex AI, if we can light up more of that data, maybe 30%, 40%, 50%, and we can still quantify all of those things, how easy we can make things for our customers. And I wanted to tell that story from the lens of this flywheel over here. So today at Quantum, we get data from web, we get data from mobile, both mobile web and native apps. We also get data from connected devices like kiosks. So like all of this data is coming in. The first task is creating events out of that data so that I can make sense of that data. So I can train Vertex AI to understand HTML and CSS and say like, this is an add to cart button and this is the value of the add to cart. I can train Vertex to understand that this is what an error looks like. And not only that, Vertex can find that error in multiple languages. You already saw in TK's keynote today that like Vertex supports like about 140 odd languages. So I can automatically tag the data and activate for you. Then I can process the data and make it meaningful for you in lots of different ways. So the two ways which we have been experimenting at our end is, one is called session summarization. That I can take the entire session replay and I can summarize it. So imagine you call a contact center and Tina, I'm speaking with Tina and I tell Tina, hey Tina, were you trying to order an iPhone rose gold color and you were running into checkout issues? And Tina says yes. We can resolve a problem faster with empathy. And all of that is done because I can provide that agent with a session summarization, which LLM like Vertex can generate like really, really easily. Next up is, once I've processed and lighted up all of this data, how do I activate this data? So we have talked about, I can think about activation in two forms. One is offline analysis or analytics, as we think about like where my users coming and going and dropping from. But I can also use them for real-time customer rescue and real-time customer activation. So for example, with one of our customers, they had a lot of excess inventory. And they said that when I see this inventory in somebody's shopping cart, and you see that customer struggle, can you throw in a pop-up, give them a coupon code or a fast code to call a contact center so they can get their purchase done? We did that based upon that signal, and they drove like 40% plus conversions during those promotion times. Now that signal can come in a very definitive way through Gen AI and Vertex. So this is, now all of this is generating more data which we capture, and this is how I would describe a flywheel which benefits all different teams.
Thank you, Kartik. And next, I would love to invite our speakers to present the top 1 to 2 key takeaways they would like the audience to take away with when it comes to leveraging the best of open and data cloud solutions to help enterprises continually deliver upon that seamless digital experience. So, Michael?
Sure, thank you. I think a couple of key takeaways. Number one is, I think, in light of the question that we just sort of answered, I think the notion of composable, the notion that we're working with an API-first application, I think that is the best foundation for generative AI. Because if that data is available in one location, sitting in Google Cloud, it can be used in the entire ecosystem. So not just the Google Cloud ecosystem, not just the Commerce Tools ecosystem, every independent software vendor that we're connecting with has access to that data. And therefore, I think it would be amazing if, whether it's Jasper or ChatGPT, when you can just prompt Commerce Tools, and we're building these connections for ChatGPT and Jasper, where we can prompt it and give us that information in terms of inventory, product availability, product data in general. So I think the key takeaway from me here is that composable and API first is the amazing and best foundation for anything AI or Gen AI for the future. That's one statement. And that's where partnerships like with Quantum and Google come in like super, super handy because they can take that data available. Another big thing is when we look at our customers and how they get started, managing data is the first step in their digital transformation, because a lot of them struggle with the data model and the data concepts from their legacy vendors. And so the first thing that they're doing is they're cleaning up their data. They're looking at their data model. And we have a super flexible data model to make that available. If you skip that first step, whether you use big data, Gen AI, or any sort of big memory kind of like play, you just have shit data faster and it doesn't actually help you in making decisions, driving customer experience, etc. So figuring out what that data looks like and how it can be massaged and crafted and is available is sort of my key takeaway. And then I think for your specific businesses, I think the third and final key takeaway for me is make sure that you're not jumping on a fad and just because everybody's talking about Gen AI, that you want to apply that and use it. I think building out a team to even look at generative AI is also a mistake in and of itself because it fosters more silos. So I think Gen AI should be a method, a practice. It should be part of your DNA. It should be part of each of your teams and how you look at that. It shouldn't be a department in your innovation group or strategy group or something. And so I think be pragmatic about it, how and where you want to use it, and then find applications that are meaningful to you. And I think those are my 3 key takeaways.
Great, thank you. Karthik, any more key takeaways?
So I'll add 2 over here, and both of them come from customer conversations. So our customers so the first takeaway is customer wants products and solutions which are outcome first and not feature first, right? Yes, 1,000 people can build funnels, look at journeys, but to do what? To understand a checkout funnel, to understand, like, can I change a flight or why users might be dropping from a changed flight, or why people, while making a transfer on a bank, cannot make a transfer and my call volumes are going up in the contact center. Because what we fail to understand is our customers have to take those features and stitch it together at their end to deliver that solution. And that is time consuming. They often do not have the time or the resources to get that things done. So like, I would urge all products to be like outcome first over feature first. The second is we talked a lot about collaboration. And I want to hit on that collaboration point again, but from 2 angles. First is internal collaboration, that, look, any product which creates more silos is not a great product. Because our customers are asking us, all of us, and when I say us, I mean everybody who is supporting that customer, that can you enable collaborations between my marketing team and my product team and engineering team, and so on and so forth. So internal collaboration. But I would go one step from there, and Michael hinted to that. It's like, look, they're using Quantum, but they're also using Commerce Tool. They're also using Algolia or Bloomreach or other companies over there. So the collaboration also comes from taking this data from different sources, being able to join them, and draw insights from all of that. And with that in mind, I think one of the things which we have been able to do with this Google partnership and this partnership amongst ourselves is we are launching an ISV commerce network, which is with Google's help. So Google is there, Quantometric is there, Commerce Tool is there, Kin and Carta, and Bloomreach are there, so that like together when we join forces and we are more solution focused, we can help our customers move the ball much faster, much further.
Thank you. So I think if anyone has any questions, Karthik, Michael, and I will be off to the side after the session's over. So for anyone interested in learning more about Commerce Tools and Quantometric, both solutions are on the Google Cloud Marketplace. So I invite you to scan the QR codes and learn more about the solutions. And finally, the team that Karthik just mentioned, Kin and Carta, Commerce Tools, Bloomreach, and Quantometric, we're all hosting an Intelligent Experiences After Dark happy hour at the Canopy at the Hilton tonight. So welcome you again to scan the QR code, RSVP, and join us over there. All right, feedback is greatly appreciated. I know we had some technical difficulties, so feel free to fill in the survey on the app as well. Thank you very much.